Welcome to Parallel Station, home to two metro lines, a cross-platform transfer, an interesting feature of Catalan orthography, and none other than the Montjuïc Funicular. I've already shown it in a previous video, but now it's time for a dedicated ride. And once we get to the top, we'll check out a gondola as well. Here we go. To access the funicular inside Parallel Metro Station is a rather long corridor, which is needed as sometimes the funicular can get quite crowded when there's events up on the hill. The train itself is inclined, as is normal in the funicular railway, which does make level boarding a bit of a challenge. I went to the very front of the train to get the foamer shot. And with that, let's start making our way up the hill. One major appeal of the funicular, especially to tourists, is that it's within the paid area of the Barcelona metro network. So if you buy one of those multi-day unlimited transit passes, as I did, it won't cost extra to ride the funicular. Compared to some of the world's most iconic funicular railways such as those in Lyon, Lisbon, and Istanbul, this one in Barcelona is relatively new. Montjuïc itself is the hill on which the city came to be, and in the 1920s, it was repurposed into the grounds for the 1929 World's Fair. The funicular began operation just a year before the fair, and it's remained popular among tourists ever since. Parallel Metro Station is on lines 2 and 3. The former serves Sagrada Familia, while the latter runs right underneath La Rambla and continues north to Parkway. The metro station didn't open until 1970, over 40 years after the funicular. Like many railways of its kind, the line is single-tracked except for a brief section in the middle where the two trains can pass each other. Both trains leave their stations at exactly the same time, with one acting as a counterweight for the other, so you will always get this nice catch. The frequency is roughly every 10 minutes, though it's not possible to track real-time departures, except, when you're actually at the station. Once we get to the top, it's a short walk to the gardens, the concert hall, some museums, and most notably the Olympic Stadium. It was built for the 1992 Summer Games and is currently hosting FC Barcelona matches, while the Camp Nou gets a much-needed facelift. So to get to the castle, we'll need to go even higher up the hill, and for that is a gondola. If this bit of the line feels steep, that's because it is. The gradient gets up to 18%. And here we are pulling into the station at Montjuïc. It has fare gates just like any other metro station, though unfortunately this platform has steps due to the railway here being at its steepest. For that reason, if you have reduced mobility, you're encouraged to board on the front of the train on the way up and the back on the way down, since that avoids you having to take any steps. The station building here has the vibe you'd expect from a European train station that's nearly 100 years old, though on a much smaller scale. But now, let's head over to the gondola, which is quite literally next door. And if you thought the funicular was a popular tourist attraction, this one might as well be a tourist trap. It does cost a pretty penny to ride, though the line wasn't too long and it's totally worth it for the views alone. Here we are beginning our ascent towards Montjuïc Castle. You can see the funicular station building, as well as some of Barcelona's tallest towers. Even La Rambla is visible from here. It's that huge gap in the grid. The gondolas travel at 2.5 meters per second, about 15 seconds apart, and each one has room for 4 passengers. Before long, we slow down at an intermediate stop at Mirador, which also gives us a chance to appreciate the way the gondolas move. Note that you can only get on and off at this station when traveling downhill. And now for the straight climb up to the castle. Some more taller buildings come into view, and now you can see the Sagrada Familia, if you look carefully. Eventually we reach the summit, whose main attraction is of course the 17th century castle, with some nice gardens surrounding it, and these iconic cannons. If you want a way to get up to the castle that won't incur quite a heavy surcharge, the 150 bus duplicates the route of the cable car. There is another cable car that I didn't ride, the Port Vey aerial tramway, that gets you down from here to the seaport. And before long, I made my way down again. Here we can see that the cable car is hauled by ropes from Fatser, who specialize in, quote, high quality steel and transport ropes. And what can I say, the more you know. From this side, you can see more of the seaport and the 29-story W Hotel. A bunch of sailboats also come into view. And here's one last glimpse of the city from above, where you can really appreciate Barcelona's density. So that's all for today. A bit of a slow video, but we'll be back to the usual next week, where we'll finally be checking out the Catalan Regional Rail Network in more detail. Get excited because it's going to be quite a long one. I look forward to seeing you then.